Mojtaba Khamenei reported wounded amid conflict. Mojtaba Khamenei, Iran's newly appointed supreme leader, sustained injuries to his legs on the first day of US-Israeli military operations, according to reports referencing Israeli and Iranian sources. The 56-year-old was declared successor to his father, Ali Khamenei, who died on the conflict's initial day. The younger Khamenei's absence from public view is attributed to these injuries and security concerns. State media has referred to him as Janbaz, meaning wounded by the enemy. While government advisor Youssef Pezeshkian stated that Khamenei is safe and sound, he did not refute the injury reports. Meanwhile, US President Donald Trump and Israeli Defense Minister Israel Katz have issued stern warnings, with Katz labeling any leader of the Iranian regime an unequivocal target for elimination. Next news. Global oil prices surge as Strait of Hormuz shutdown hits supply. Global crude oil prices climbed on March 11, 2026, reaching $85.48 USD per barrel, as conflict in the Middle East halted shipping through the critical Strait of Hormuz. The waterway, responsible for 1/5 of the world's oil, is effectively closed due to security risks, including reports of sea mines. This supply disruption has caused US fuel prices to rise for 11 consecutive days, with drivers paying 20% more since military strikes began. While prices jumped 36.03% over the past month, gains slowed as traders anticipated a historic coordinated release of global oil reserves led by the IEA and G7 nations. Meanwhile, regional producers have cut output by 6 million barrels per day, pending further market clarity. Next news. Iran warns of $200 oil as Gulf conflict escalates. Iran's military command issued a stark warning on Wednesday, advising the global community to prepare for oil prices reaching $200 per barrel as the blockade of the Strait of Hormuz continues. Ibrahim Zolfikari, spokesperson for Iran's military, linked the potential price surge to regional destabilization caused by US-Israeli operations. Despite intense airstrikes, Iran demonstrated continued strike capabilities on Wednesday, firing at targets across the Middle East. Meanwhile, the maritime crisis intensified as 3 more merchant ships came under attack in the Gulf, bringing the total number of vessels struck since the conflict began to 14. Amidst the fighting, an Iranian official reported that the newly appointed supreme leader Mojtaba Khamenei was lightly wounded in the initial strikes that killed several members of his family. Although he has not appeared in public, massive crowds gathered in Tehran for the funerals of top commanders. In response to the energy supply disruption, the International Energy Agency is expected to recommend a record release of 400 million barrels from global strategic reserves. However, Israel's defense minister, Israel Katz, maintained that military operations will continue without a time limit until all strategic objectives are achieved. Next news. Bolton warns Iran was days from nuclear acquisition prior to US strikes. Former US National Security Advisor John Bolton revealed that Iran was approximately 3 days away from acquiring a nuclear weapon from North Korea before the commencement of Operation Epic Fury. Speaking to The Sun, Bolton asserted that while joint US-Israeli strikes launched on February 28 caused very significant damage to Tehran's domestic nuclear infrastructure, the proliferation threat remains acute due to illicit state partnerships. Bolton warned that North Korea could rapidly deliver a nuclear device to Iran via Russian airspace within 72 hours of a financial transaction, bypassing local production hurdles. The revelation underscores the Trump administration's justification for the ongoing military campaign, which escalated into a regional conflict after Iran's retaliation across the Gulf. Bolton argued that the persistent cooperation between the China-Russia axis and its outriders, Iran and North Korea, necessitates a fundamental regime change in Tehran. He suggested that whether the successor is a military or democratic government, the removal of theocratic extremists is essential to preventing a nuclear-armed Iran. As the conflict enters its second week, US officials continue to pressure Tehran for a comprehensive new nuclear agreement. Next news. Security lockdown near White House after van strikes barricade. A van slammed into a security barricade near the White House early Wednesday morning, triggering a full lockdown of downtown Washington. The vehicle struck a gate at Lafayette Square, located at the intersection of Connecticut Avenue and H Street Northwest, around 6:30 a.m. local time. The Secret Service immediately apprehended the driver, who is currently being questioned by investigators. No injuries were reported, and a police bomb squad has since deemed the vehicle safe. The incident occurred during the morning rush hour, forcing the closure of several major streets and preventing government employees from reaching their offices. Washington remains under heightened security as the conflict between the US, Israel, and Iran enters its 12th day. While authorities have not yet released the driver's identity or motive, The Metropolitan Police Department and Secret Service continue to investigate the breach. Traffic congestion remains severe across the capital as security teams maintain cordons around the executive mansion. Next news. Canadian submarine achieves simulated sinking of USS Dwight D. Eisenhower. During a recent NATO naval exercise in the North Atlantic, a Canadian diesel-electric submarine successfully breached the defensive perimeter of a U.S. Navy carrier strike group to sink the aircraft carrier USS Dwight D. Eisenhower. The $5.5 billion nuclear-powered supercarrier was navigating with a full escort of destroyers and surveillance aircraft when the $80 million Canadian vessel managed to penetrate its layered sonar defenses. Operating silently on battery power, the submarine reached a tactical position that, under exercise rules, allowed for a confirmed simulated torpedo strike. The incident has highlighted the persistent threat posed by stealthy conventional submarines to even the most advanced naval fortresses. Defense analysts noted that the submarine's ability to blend into the ocean's natural acoustic background allowed it to slip past the carrier's sophisticated radar and underwater sensors undetected. While the USS Dwight D. Eisenhower remains a centerpiece of American maritime power, this simulated defeat serves as a sobering reminder of the effectiveness of asymmetric warfare and high-stakes tactical ingenuity in modern naval operations. Next news. Starmer accuses Badenoch of U-turn amid release of Epstein files. Prime Minister Sir Keir Starmer accused opposition leader Kemi Badenoch of the mother of all U-turns during a heated Prime Minister's questions on Wednesday. Starmer claimed Badenoch abandoned her initial support for US-Israeli offensive strikes against Iran after witnessing the resulting economic turbulence. While the Prime Minister defended his decision to avoid direct involvement in the conflict, Badenoch countered that his indecision had weakened the UK's standing, asserting that HMS Dragon would have left a week ago under her leadership. The political clash coincided with the release of the first tranche of the Epstein files, detailing the controversial appointment of Lord Peter Mandelson as US ambassador. Documents revealed that Starmer was warned in December 2024 of the reputational risk regarding Mandelson's particularly close relationship with convicted financier Jeffrey Epstein. Files also disclosed that Mandelson unsuccessfully sought a £500,000 payout upon his dismissal, a request labelled inappropriate and unacceptable by Cabinet Minister Darren Jones. As oil prices fluctuate and domestic energy bills double for some households, the government faces intensifying pressure over both its diplomatic appointments and its strategy regarding the escalating Middle East war. Next news. Canada eyes role as key energy supplier to India amid global supply shifts. Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney has underscored that Canada is well positioned to meet India's surging energy needs as the ongoing conflict in West Asia disrupts traditional fossil fuel and LNG supply chains. Speaking following a bilateral meeting with Prime Minister Narendra Modi in New Delhi, Carney highlighted Canada's potential as a reliable supplier of responsibly produced low-carbon LNG from its west coast. The two leaders welcomed India's intention to source LNG from Canada and noted the country's growing role as a significant supplier of heavy oil over the past 5 years. While Canada's current export capacity is still expanding, having sent its first LNG cargo to Asia only last year, the government aims to reach 14 MTPA capacity at its Kitimat facility. Strategic engagement with India is now viewed as essential by Canadian officials, who hope to double LNG exports over the long term. Both nations are currently working toward concluding India's first long-term LPG supply arrangement, with Indian Petroleum Minister Hardeep Puri expected to visit Canada later this year to finalize further energy cooperation.